Hey everyone, welcome to the first official episode of the Gladiator Strength Systems podcast. Today I'm going to be talking about an overview of what this podcast is going to cover and why I really decided to make this podcast, as well as diving into a quick topic called GPP work. To start off, I wanted to tell you guys that I appreciate you guys for all your support and for supporting me for starting this podcast. I'm very excited to see what I'll be able to do with this podcast and try and help you guys as much as I can to really reach your fitness goals. I believe that's really my main purpose of why I started this. My goal is to help you guys and help you guys reach your full potential. And by really making this podcast, I think that I'll be able to help you guys to my best ability. So, what I want to dive into in this podcast is the subject of exercise science and methods of powerlifting and athletic training that I can use, or that we can all use to start and try to improve our outcome of our training. As some of you may know, I am only a 15-year-old, so I am not a professional. I'm not certified because I am not legally aged to be certified. I do, however, know a lot about the subject for a 15-year-old. However, if you have questions that I cannot answer, please reach out to a certified professional rather than a 15-year-old. To start out, I want to talk about GPP work. GPP work is general physical preparedness. General physical preparedness is a part of our training that we use to increase our overall fitness levels. By this, I mean we start to increase our work capacity along with our general fitness levels. I'm very excited to really dive into this subject as I've been looking into it a lot more recently. GPP work was really originated back in Roman times when really the dawn of powerlifting began. Ancient Romans really picked up odd size and shaped objects and carried them for distance and time to prove their fitness levels to others. I want to dive into why we do GPP work. Like I said, we do GPP work to increase our work capacity. GPP work also addresses our weaknesses and works to improve our overall athletic ability and fitness. GPP work also increases our cardiovascular health while simultaneously improving other strengths. Some benefits of GPP is cardiovascular health. With GPP work, we're constantly working to improve our speed and acceleration as well as our muscles. So we're really getting our cardiovascular system moving and really starting to challenge it a bit more. But GPP work also aids in recovery. Low intensity GPP work can help release lactic acid in your body, which causes post-exercise soreness. GPP can also help people recover from injury. If we're starting up a new training cycle at Gladiator, typically I like to start with a training cycle that revolves more around GPP work, so we can just really start to work up our work capacity and get that back to a normal level, coming back from an injury. Work capacity, I never really explained what work capacity is. Work capacity is the total volume of work you expose your body to and it essentially determines the magnitude of the training effect you receive from the work. With this being said, we don't want to do too much volume in our training, as that can result in an increased risk of injury as well as overtraining, which does uh, it's hard to explain, but overtraining makes our muscles more fatigued, and when our muscles are more fatigued, we are much more susceptible to injury. That's the basics of it. Types of GPP, typically accessory work and bodybuilding accessories are the main type of GPP found in training systems. Systems that I use are typically revolved around the three main lifts: squat, bench, and deadlift, and its variations. However, I do also program lots of GPP work to up our work capacity, in depending on the phase of the training cycle that we are in and what our goals are for our training. Other GPP work can include strongman work, for example, farmers walks. We can use to increase our speed and acceleration, as well as simultaneously working our grip strength and finger strength. Strongman work, such as yoke walks or sled drags, also work the posterior chain effectively and really increase our work capacity with the amount of volume we can do. Typically, I like to program my sled drags and yoke walks for distance or time. So typically, I will have my clients do uh, 3 sets of about 20 to 25 yards down and back for sled drags with about 1 minute rests to really challenge our cardiovascular system and really get us in shape. GPP work can also consist of cardio, so just walking on a treadmill, low intensity, or playing sports couple times a week is going to really vamp up our work capacity and our just overall fitness levels. So personally, I think GPP work is very necessary in every plan. I think there's a time and place for it in every plan. I also like to typically add in GPP work, about 2 times a week at the beginning of a training cycle to really just work and hammer that work capacity so eventually we can increase our workload. Typically, one day I have something more dynamic like farmers walks or yoke carries where we do it for distance, and then the next day I'll have us doing a more of a power exercise, for example, tire flips or sled drags or sprints, really working on power and speed to really just up all of our fitness levels to the best of our ability. GPP work, I think, often one of one of the biggest advocates for GPP work in today's world, in today's powerlifting world, is Louis Simmons. Louis Simmons brought the idea to powerlifting through Westside Barbell. He has his athletes doing GPP work very often, and his athletes hold world records and many national and state records. So whatever he's doing is obviously working, and he values GPP work for many of his lifters at Westside over. He likes to really emphasize GPP and accessory work just as much as the big three, and I think that's what sets his lifters apart from other lifters. So yeah, that's basically all I wanted to talk about today. I look forward to see what I'm able to do with this podcast and help inform you guys on certain topics about powerlifting and athletic training. And I'm really excited to try and help you guys as much as possible. And yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed. Please follow the Gladiator Strength Instagram, as well as subscribe to our YouTube channel, Gladiator Strength Systems, where I'm hoping to post these podcasts very soon, as well as other content for exercise and powerlifting, etc., etc. Thank you everyone for listening. Have a good night.